Selim, mate, thanks for joining me in Parramatta.
That's it.
Yeah.
At Web V8.
The Web V8.
Oh, it's not Parramatta.
Get the plug in. Get the plug in early. Love it. When I first met you, you caught my attention by saying, I build fast websites. Now, in my business, mine is I don't produce art and videography for you. I create video assets. You're kind of the website version of I'll create a fast website for you, but we're going to think about why you're doing it too. That's my summary of you in like 30 seconds. But
look, what I've been trying to expand on is, like in any business, you start up a business and then over time you eventually, gradually understand what the market kind of wants. So obviously, yes, fast website is cool, but what is a fast website? You know, there's two meanings to fast. Is it fast because the website loads quick, or is it fast because you get the website quick?
Yeah.
Now, I've slowly been trying to do both at once, even though I was originally focusing on the one. Now, I think I've gotten to the point where I'm good. I can officially deliver fast, so under 5 days, you usually get a website. And obviously, one of the biggest challenges is content, right? You yourself.
That's why we're here.
Yeah. So obviously, everyone who has a business says, I need a website, but they don't send text, they don't send images, they don't send videos, and that just drags on and on. Or there's also the people with new businesses. I recently did like a scrapyard, and he's got no customers. There's no scrap there to take.
For a business, a website is such a personal undertaking. This is my business, this is my baby. I built it over the last 3, 6, 5, 10 years. How can I sit down and distill everything that I possibly believe in?
Look,
right?
I think in your case, that's the thing. But in the case of a lot of the business owners, it's just time.
Right.
They're just too busy. And that's why they've delegated the website to me. Because they don't want to deal with it. And if I'm there just pestering them with questions, hey, send me photos, send me videos, there has to be some point where I go, okay, this guy's not sending me shit. I'll just go ahead and just whip it together.
That's what you did with me. Right, the website, and I'll put it up on the screen here, videoauthority.com.au.
Sorry.
I got very busy very quickly. I didn't need a website. I wanted one. Big difference. And one day I was just showing it to someone. Oh, it's blanks, great. I've loaded it, and then all of a sudden you've written the copy in.
Look, at the end of the day, yes, waiting for you is probably going to produce the best result, but my job is to do it fast. So what I do is I don't aim for perfect, I aim for MVP, which is
minimum viable product.
That's what you need, because that's what it is, man. You don't have to, it's the same as video editing, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You can surely sit there, edit for 20 hours, but you got to be realistic. Chuck on a 2-hour edit, 1-hour edit, and you're good. Should be fine.
Yeah, exactly. So it's important in my definition as a marketer to have a fast website, because every millisecond that you miss a loading website, your customer is getting annoyed. Not just gonna leave, annoyed. That's why you should have a fast website. But my question is, what happens if you don't have a fast website?
Look, I think it's better to actually just compare it to anything in the world. Everything that's fast costs more. Even a Bentley, it's a luxury vehicle, but it comes with a V12. Or a V8 at least. Anything luxury is faster. If you go to like even Disneyland, there are premium tickets that, fast track you. If you want to book a last minute room, they charge you a bit more. If you book a flight last second, it slugs you more. Everything fast costs more. But everything fast sometimes is better. Now, I don't want to turn around and just say it's more expensive, but it's what the premium service demands. I'm more on the Bentley side, where I keep it luxury in the sense of you don't have to kill yourself generating content and thinking too much. You can kind of delegate to me. I do personally believe I am switched on enough to be able to justify that. I can figure out what your business is after a couple meetings and then just run it for you. Not run the business. Build a website for you.
So I want to go back to the news example, because I've had a lot of website people over the time come to me and say, Tim, I need to work with you, and they pitch me their thing, and I've done websites before that haven't quite worked out. They did a nice job. It was a really good job, but it wasn't until I started working with you, when as soon as I loaded that website, you not only did you make a website, but you improved my logo as well. So take us into, you and I had a lunch, And then we were just talking about it, and I said, man, I really need a website. I'm scaling. I'm getting customers. I'm now, my office is at a premium Rialto location. I need I just said the words, I need a digital business card.
A solution.
A solution. And you said to me, I got this, right? And you fucking did. Look, but not only did you do that, I sent you my crappy logo that I'd made in Canva, and you said, this isn't it.
Look, I'm not anti-Canva. I used to be, I'm not going to lie. I like Canva now. The amount of assets on Canva is just quicker. And you know you're copyright free, like you know you're safe. I'm not anti-Canva. But obviously, like, you know, when I do things, I do it in Photoshop.
Yeah.
But having said that, I do like nick a lot of ideas from Canva regardless.
Yeah. So you looked at because I just would speed to market for this. I rebranded, changed the name, speed to market, just get something, right?
Good.
And my graphic designer, he made something to my specifications, right? So, but then I showed that to you and you went, Video Authority, this logo isn't actually doing what the word is saying. And therefore, my graphic designer will be listening to this. He wrote when he gave you the logo you did, he improved on it, he fixed it, but he said, oh man, I got schooled by a website developer.
Look, I'm not a graphic designer, and in reality, I'm not a web designer.
I love that you're not.
I'm a solution person.
This is the thing that I really want to stress in this episode, and this is going to be the title of it. A graphic designer and a web designer will ruin your business. Right?
I can't say ruin.
I'm a hyperbolic marketer. I will say ruin. Okay. Right? Why I'll say ruin is they'll make you something pretty.
Yes.
They'll have all these widgets and things and they go fly in, fly out. Wow, amazing. But does your client actually give a crap about that? Absolutely not. And are you going to get appointments, booking and that? So it really depends. Do you want a beautiful website with the flying things in and out? If you want, great, you're not going to make sales, right? If you want something that bloody well converts, and websites don't convert very highly, people believe they should, but if you want the best chance, that's what you do. Now, that's my summary, and that's why I freaking love working with you, man. It's why you're the only web designer who I've had on the podcast.
Look, I'm solution driven, and I personally think you are too. But the reality is, in both of our businesses, the biggest issue is obviously it depends on what the customer wants.
Yeah.
Now, if the client turns around and starts to dictate every aspect of it, it's no different to a barber. If you go to the barber and tell him, okay, 3 here, 2 here, 1 here, do that, do it like this and do this, use the scissors, use that clippers, you're going to get a shit job. But if you told the guy, look, man, make this short and then make the top look good, the guy will come up with his own design and do a better job. Now, having said that, obviously, there are people who just know what they want and you do deliver it to them and they don't complain. But the amount of times, and I bet you're in the same boat, where they tell you to do an edit, you deliver it like, oh, I don't know what it is, I just don't like it. I did exactly what you asked for.
I don't do that anymore. When I say anymore, it's literally the last 2 weeks. Clients who think they know more than I do about video and how videos perform. Bro, you've been looking at TikTok for 2 seconds. I've been doing this for 12 years of my life. Do not try and tell me, put my logo here. Don't even think about having your logo on a website video, not a website video, a TikTok video, because people think it's an ad, right? So I respect that the client is always right, but the client is not always right. And I'm in the position right now to be like, no, you're wrong. And if you don't want it that way, go and find someone else.
Look, while that works, it depends on the client too. I get some clients who get cut.
It does, yeah.
But regarding the logo subject, that's a funny one because what I do now, whenever a customer says, can you make the logo bigger? I say, can you just do me a favor? Can you just Google client wants logo bigger? And then we should probably put that on the screen. And it's just people complaining about why clients want the logo bigger because they've already come to you. Like in my case, they're already on the bloody website. They don't need to see your logo anymore. No one cares about your logo. They care about the product.
Care about the product.
Why are they here?
And that's the thing. I want to steer us back onto that. So you built my website with what goal in mind when you were building it?
So if I remember correctly, the fact that you had packages was great, but the reality is no one could really go through the package without going through a bunch of loopholes.
What is it? What's it going to look like? Who is this guy? Why should I trust him?
Yeah, like it doesn't really sell there's a hierarchy to doing everything. The first bit of hierarchy should always be, hey, what is this? What am I doing here? What, in your case, video authority. I just came here. What the hell is this? Are you an ad agency? Are you a videographer? What are you? We sell that. Now, selling the videography part is kind of difficult. So that's why, if you recall, that's when I suggested we get those videos of you setting up tripods, doing cameras, because it reinforces what's written there. Hey, I make videos for you, and it pretty much shows you with a camera. So there's no question marks. Oh, are you just an editor? Or do you just do this?
No.
This shows everything there. So you got the text, you got the background message going with a video, which is great. And then as you scroll down, we're straight away saying, hey, come here. This is how you book. If someone wants more information, let them scroll down. The reality is, let's just say it's a 50-50 ratio. 50% of the people there are ready to contact you because they've heard about you and come to your website. The other 50 are learning about you.
So if someone's...
I do have one extra thing I want to add there. Now, the 50 that already know you and came to your website are probably just looking to buy. So we should be as fast as possible in pushing them in that direction. Whereas the other 50, obviously, that's discovery. And, well, are they ready to buy? They're still going to look you up, talk to you, maybe even waste your time. That's why I don't really over-prioritize. I say over because I'm not saying they're not a priority, but there's no point putting all of your focus in the new discovery customer. You want the customer who kind of already knows what they want.
So it's a change that we made recently, based on me looking at your website, you've got your TikTok best hits highlights rolling through.
That's correct.
And now what we've added to my site, so we can see that this is the work that Tim produces. We've actually got a rolling hits of all of my best clients, Jim Penman, Kevin Sheedy, Stephen Thomas, all for Business Networking for Dummies. We've got that rolling there almost as below the fold almost, right? That's where you wanted to put it.
Yeah.
Unless there was there another way maybe we should move it? We've only recently made this change.
In reality, with the whole social media, even when I was doing it, it's actually, let's just say, against the guidelines. Anyone who designs websites will tell you, don't put your social media links at the top. Don't put anything that's going to send anyone away.
Yeah.
That's the reality.
But that's not sending it away. What you're doing is you're showing that what we've done is you're showing the proof of the...
Yes. However, having said that, we are in 2025 and things are changing.
Distraction.
And maybe I'm the one actually creating this new trend here, but I have lately been doing this. On my own redesign, I went to TikTok and I said, go to my bloody TikTok. Because I personally found that the biggest selling point to really any business, obviously other than a shop, would be selling who you are and what kind of person you are. And obviously social media does that really well. So if someone were to click onto my TikTok, they'd see what kind of person I am, how I talk, my style. And if someone clicks onto yours, well, naturally they're going to see your style and how you operate and how you conduct yourself.
Yeah, and that's why we put not only do we have testimonials, we've also got right by that what I'm doing online.
Of course.
Right? It looks really cool. It's got, here's Tim's work, here's what Tim does. Right? So it shows that I speak the speak and walk the walk.
I definitely agree.
Came up with that with me really cleverly, in a really intelligent way. We did that.
I think the fact that you're able to sell your personality is a great point, because especially in videography, I also do acting part-time, and I deal with a lot of these directors and whatnot. And man, some of them are just bad. Not bad as in sense of quality, but how they conduct themselves. They're angry, they're aggressive, straight face. You're always smiling. You listen quietly and you provide your input after the fact. I think that's a huge selling point. And well, you can't put that in writing. Hey, I'm a good listener and I don't talk until... It doesn't work, right? People need to observe that. And they can only do that through social media, really.
Absolutely. So this is going to be a bit of a series. I'm going to have you on the show a couple times. So this will be a quick in and out sort of episode.
Maybe the next one I'll be in Melbourne.
Maybe the next one he'll be in Melbourne. Yeah.
Drinking tap water.
What we're going to do
That's
is...
That's an inside joke.
I've referred you to an awesome client, Andrew Hewitt.
Yes.
Andrew's a great man. He gives a great handshake and always wears a nice suit. He's also an expert at what he does in the financial space. And I trust him, and I'm going to have him on my podcast. Right? Because I trust this guy as a financial advisor with everything that I would do. And I've got people in that industry. This is the only guy that I would really trust, along with other advisors that I have. Christine, Prashant, if you're listening, my uncle, if you're listening, I trust you guys too. But Andy is in that, right? Andy's going to come on the show soon. But before that, you and I are going to do another episode where we'll break down the website that you've made for him. Yeah, so you've already done that. That's live. So just to give people a little bit of context, but I want to end the show on 3 questions. First one is, somebody right now is out there thinking, far out, I need a new website, right? Now, my answer to you is go to Selim, right? But you obviously can't say that. You're a humble man. You're not really, but I'll pump you up. Well, you're a mix of both, right? Sorry. So if someone's thinking that, what should they start to do that you wish clients would come to you with? It's like, this is the data that I have, this is the research, this is stuff that I have. What do you wish people had when they were looking for the website? So that person right now who's listening going, I need the website, they can come to someone like you, hopefully you, right? I'll put all your links below. But what do you wish your client, what should they be doing?
The best clients are the clients who've actually got some professional videos going. Naturally, when a restaurant or something approaches me and they've already got some sort of photographer to come out, take amazing photos and videos, I can produce an amazing product. The reality is, like really anything, if you have a car dealership, well, if you're selling a bunch of like Daewoo's and Daihatsus, it's just never going to look respectable. Whereas if a car dealership is selling like Mercedes, BMW, Audi, Volvo, then it just looks prettier. The reality is the product does actually, in turn, what's the right word here? Justify? No.
Yeah.
I'd say the product.
You need to, like, so if you're building a website, you need to have a think about how you want to show up.
Yes, because at the end of the day, I do get your product and I put it on the website and I do my best to make it look pretty. But in reality, if what I'm being given or if the product itself is just ugly, it's hard to make it look good.
You can't polish turd.
You can't polish turd. Like I'd never do a compost website. Like what the hell can you put there?
So just to double back on that answer, so creative is one thing. But what about looking for a web designer? What should we look for in hiring someone like you? Because you're going to get very busy if you keep working with me, right?
In reality, the biggest issue is, of course, when people end up going overseas for website development or really any sort of work.
The guy you spoke to yesterday, he's fucking around on Fiverr, and that's why I just said, bro, I need to talk to Selim.
Either his SSL certificate's not working or he's hosting his website in Singapore, not Australia.
Yeah. Can you say that again? The problem is going overseas. Actually call out Fiverr and Upwork. Do it.
The problem is a lot of people are going on platforms like Fiverr, freelancer.com and hiring people from overseas. The reality is when you hire someone overseas, they're never going to meet our standard here. We have a standard here. You have a standard in Melbourne, we have a standard in Sydney, but we're all under the Australian standard. As in, we expect work done. I'm paying, work's got to be done. Not, my dad is sick in hospital, can you send me some money? This is the most common thing we hear, and I know a lot of people have heard that, or something along the lines of that, of course.
And of course, if it's genuine, right, fine, but don't play the...
Look, 1 in a million. Obviously, there are probably genuine cases.
No, I get it. But the problem is what you're highlighting. It's because you highlighted quite a serious problem, but it's the excuses.
It is.
The excuses when someone deals with Fiverr and Upwork. And my friend who's going through that process at the moment, they've built him a skeleton. And he's like, man, I just want this live. Get this live. And they're, oh, no, we got to do this. We got to do that. Oh, you got to buy this thing. You got to buy that thing. And you actually, if you go through Fiverr and Upwork on your stuff, Fiverr, Upwork, you're actually going to end up spending more money because they'll say, oh, you got to buy this now. You got to buy this now.
I always give the example with the gym. So when I lived in Europe, there were 2 types of gyms. The first gym is a cheap gym. Let's just say it's like $10 a month. But you walk in, you want water, it's $1. You want a towel, it's another $1. You want to have a shower, it's $3. It ends up racking up. Then you go to the premium gym. Look, it's $50. But when you're there, you get your wallet, you put it in your locker, and you don't worry about it again because massages are free. Drinking water's free. Everything's free in there. I believe that is a premium service. And the Australian standard, that is what we want. When we go to Bali, we usually get the all-inclusive packages. When people go to Turkey, all-inclusive. They're getting their teeth done, free hotel, free this, free that. It's not free, obviously. It's bundled into the price. But that's our standard. We don't like ending up paying another $5 here, $10 here, $20 here.
Yeah, it's annoying. It's annoying. What's your watch? Your watch looks really cool. I just want to have a bit of a watch chat. Is that a mod or is that a...
No. It's a Rolex.
It's a Rolex, so we're wearing Rolex.
Yeah.
I've just been getting into watches. I know that's a random left-hand term.
The modding watches?
Yeah, it's like the Seiko mods.
Seiko GMT.
Seiko mods. Yeah.
I love that watch.
Yeah, so,
I do want to buy one.
This is a Seiko, and then I saw the Seiko mods. A friend of mine, John, who reminds me of you, I'm going to get John to watch this.
The Greek dude.
Yeah, the Greek dude.
But he's also a biker, so I respect it.
Yeah. What's the bike you ride again?
I ride a Sportster S, Harley.
Why?
Look, I wanted a Harley, and everyone owns a V-Rod. All of my friends had a V-Rod, and if you look at my pictures in my Instagram, it's all V-Rods around me. I wanted something different, but I still wanted that category. And that was the only bike that appealed to me.
Yeah.
And I really like a front fat tire.
Yeah, that looks cool. It's like the Batman.
Yeah, whereas
Batman thing, right?
all the Harleys usually have a thin front tire and a fat back one.
Yeah.
I like the idea of having a fat front.
Yeah, it feels more stable, wouldn't it?
No, I think ergonomically it's not better.
Yeah.
But it's just appearance. It's a Harley. It's not made for...
What's a Harley made for?
Cruising.
Cruising?
Of course.
Yeah, okay. Well, you're sitting back, you're just chilling, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still faster.
Yeah. Was it that bike where you were the extra on, or did they get you to ride something else?
No. When you're an extra on those sort of shows, because they're based in the 90s and 80s.
Yep.
We're using those bikes.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, okay. I want to show you. This was my dad's bike. He's passed away, but this is a photo. We had to sell it because none of us could ride. But that was his cruiser.
As if you didn't learn how to ride on it.
Well, I know, man, but you don't learn on that.
It's a Vista?
It's a Thunderbird Triumph. Triumph.
Oh, yeah, it's got the 3 lights.
Yeah.
That is good.
Yeah.
You should put that on the screen.
Yeah, I'll put it up. I'll give it to you. You can't learn on that. It's too big. If I have you, okay.
I learned on a Kawasaki Vulcan 900.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Just bought it.
Rocket.
I'll never forget when
sports bike.
No, it's a cruiser.
Oh shit!
Big bastard.
I don't know.
I remember buying that, and then I actually went with my boss to buy it. And Chata, if you're listening, we went there, and we made the purchase, and we're going to go pick it up. I said, "Man, can you go pick it up? I can't ride. I don't know how to ride." He went and picked it up and came back. It was a good ride.
That's good. Yeah. I must admit, I see bikes lane splitting. I remember riding on the back of Dad's bike and fucking he'd just be vroom, 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 vroom.
It's just
get to the front of the fucking cube, bang off you.
Look, I've recently got into the Mustang.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's a V8. It's still cool.
Yeah,
but the reality is, when you're sitting in traffic, you're like, fuck, I wish I had my bike now.
Yeah.
You always miss the bike.
Yeah, absolutely. My last question is just something I ask everyone that comes on, and it'll be a quicker turnaround for you. Usually it's 12 months that I have someone back on, but we'll be probably doing this next month. What's your next big project that you're working on that's exciting? So that next time we're on, the first question I ask you is, how's that project going?
Oh, that's a hard one. Look, I do have I can't reveal all the details, unfortunately, but the latest one is basically a guaranteed review system where people would leave genuine Google reviews and, in the scale of 500 reviews a day. So if not a cafe, it's not ideal for cafes and restaurants.
Instead of a service-based or big...
Shopfront or service-based businesses.
Yeah.
Not even service-based is hard. They usually don't have a location. But let's just assume it's like, a mechanic or a motorcycle accessory shop, because that's my first customer. And
they've got thousands of customers, hundreds of thousands.
Well, they do, but they don't get reviews. They got 30 reviews, 40 reviews. I'm going to come in and make sure they get about 300 reviews in one day. And I'm going to be able to do that for under $5,000. Well, maybe less.
My psychologist, right? I'm very open about talking about it. My psychologist, I was on her Google and she had a couple so reviews. They weren't awesome. And so I just got pissed off. I was like, this
5-star or the text is shit.
It was just what the people were saying. It wasn't reflective of my experience, right? So I So that's all I'll say. So I just got angry and I wrote this really glowing review. Like, did a whole paragraph, took some time, copied it, did all this stuff. And then I go in to pay my bill because I was just over that side of town, and my psychologist goes, "Thank you so much for the review. Like, I got the notification, it made my day." And I said, "Yeah, like, I encourage all of my clients get Google reviews, even though I don't have my location set up, ironically. Plumber with a leaky toilet at home, right?
We'll fix that.
And we'll fix it by the time this gets published." And I said, "Yeah, like, you should ask more people, and people are open to it." They said, as a psychologist, she legally can't ask for reviews.
That's correct. There's certain industries where they're not even supposed to have reviews.
Wow.
Yeah, look, that's the unfortunate reality. It's law. I do, I respect it. What do you do? Someone's obviously come up with that idea, and no one's fought it. We've been for how many governments? It's been the same rules. I think there are lots of rules, like buying reviews is technically illegal. However, if you have some sort of free giveaway or incentive, etc., obviously you can push for the idea of a review, subject to it being an actual review, not just random people off the street.
Yeah, awesome. All right, man. Thank you so much. We'll leave it there. I've been Tim, you've been Selim, we've been talking. Thank you for being the expert that shared your blueprint today.
I finally got the pun on that. Thanks, man.